Hello again, good afternoon to you. It's always a great pleasure to come your way with business on the marketplace at this time of the day. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. We are filming live on JoyNews, also streaming live on Facebook. Many thanks for your time on the marketplace today. Now, the Ghana Tourism Authority says Kumasi will host this year's United Nations World Tourism Day celebration scheduled for next month. The event is expected to boost economic potential of Ghana's tourism industry as various public and private sector players will have the opportunity to market themselves. Chief Executive of Ghana Tourism Authority, Akwesi Agyeman, revealed this at the launch of the celebration in Kumasi. Prince Appiah has more in this report.
The launch of the United Nations World Tourism Day celebrations brought together a lot of stakeholders from across the divide in Kumasi. The theme for the celebration is tourism and jobs, a better future for all. This is the first time Kumasi is hosting the occasion, which coincides with Ghana's celebration of the Year of Return. It commemorates the end of 400 years of slave trade from the coasts of Ghana. Chief Executive of Ghana Tourism Authority, Akwesi Agyeman, tells Law Business all metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in Ashanti region will be on show to exhibit what they have.
We know that the regional administration is also solidly behind us. Yesterday we had a very productive stakeholder meeting with them, and they have highlighted how we can use this to showcase all the districts, the 43 districts that we have in the Ashanti region. So we are going to have exhibitions throughout the week, and that exhibition is open to only the district assembly. So each district will showcase in our region, in our area, Kwabre East. This is what we have. We have in Tonso, we have in Han, we have and then they will showcase that. We will go to other districts, they will say we have something, we have this. So it will be a way for us to educate the people within the community that these are the resources that we have. How do we harness those resources? We need to call in for investment, and there are these forums and symposia that are attached to the celebration to let people know what the whole Tourism Day celebration is about.
Mr. Agyeman believes playing host to the world will increase domestic tourism and ultimately the Ghanaian economy.
I think, once we host such events in our region, especially in the Ashanti region, it draws attention to the potential of the tourism resources in the country. Number two, it highlights the various players and their roles. Because when you talk tourism, it's a very broad area. We're looking at hotels, restaurants, transportation, car rentals, fashion, and all those things. And many a times, people just focus on the sites and attractions. This is an opportunity for us to draw attention to the various players and their roles and how we can help deepen the collaboration that we expect. Because tourism is a very collaborative sector.
The celebration being held in Kumasi is very critical to the Ashanti Kingdom because of the 20 years anniversary of the ascension of Asantehene on the golden stool. Prince Appiah reporting. Prince Appiah reporting.
Now, a new interline agreement will now enable customers to fly a single ticket on Africa World Airlines, ASKY Airlines and Ethiopian Airlines from domestic regional airports to other international destinations. This new partnership is part of collaborative efforts by the airlines to bring more comfort and cost-saving flight options to passengers. Now, this comes as the country works to become an aviation hub. Country manager for ASKY, Walanyo Afajinu, who spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the new partnership, explains the initiative will open up the continent.
The interline agreement between the three airlines, Africa World Air, ASKY and Ethiopian Airlines, offer Ghanaian passengers the opportunity to travel seamlessly from Tamale, Kumasi, Takoradi to more than 140 destinations in Africa, Europe, Middle East and North America without having to collect baggage and check in again at the Kotoka International Airport. Walanyo Afajinu is the country manager for ASKY.
It is our plan to ensure that every city is connected, both domestic and then regional. Now, when you look at African World Airlines, they have dominated the domestic market in Ghana. And for us to connect the domestic market to our regional markets, there is the need for us to collaborate. And this is what gave birth to the partnership that we are launching today. So this is the level of collaboration we are looking at to open up the region, to open up the market.
Head of Commercial for Africa World Airlines also explains the new partnership will bring more ease to passengers.
We are actually seeing a boom on our markets because of this partnership and this cooperation. Currently, when you purchase a single ticket, for instance, you are flying from Kumasi to Toronto. Now, you look into the market, which carrier can I purchase tickets? So from Kumasi, you purchase Africa World Airlines tickets. AWA is going to fly you from Kumasi to Accra. Ethiopian Airlines will connect you from Accra to Addis to Toronto. Now, check in your baggage in Kumasi. Pick the bags in Toronto without reclaiming the bags in Accra or Kotoka International Airport, rechecking in again. This is the flexibility you are giving to passengers. Quite apart from this, if there is any distraction, AWA or any carrier on that line is going to protect you.
The launch of the new partnership came off in Kumasi through a stakeholders forum with travel agents of the 3 airlines. Some agents who were present at the launch tell Joy Business the introduction of the interline services is good for the travel business.
We agencies that are in KNUST, for instance, the lecturers, anytime they're going for conferences and all that, we book them separately. Example, when they have to do the domestic airline differently and then you do the international airline differently. Sometimes you hear complaints that the flight has been cancelled, especially the domestic. They are not able to connect to other flights. So they coming together, it's a very good idea, and then it's going to boost the business.
I think it's a good idea because most passengers in Kumasi have been complaining about having to connect when you're going to China, anywhere in the world. And so if Africa World is able to pick them with their 2 baggage and then connect them to whether Ethiopia or Sky, I think it's a good idea, and we welcome it.
For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklo reporting.
Away from tourism now, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana is calling on President Akufo-Addo to look within his government and flush out people sabotaging the Planting for Food and Jobs program by smuggling fertilizers across the country's borders. The president of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, Abdul Rahman Mohammed, believes the acts are orchestrated by people within government. He made a call at a press conference held a while ago in Accra.
Before even a foreigner come in to Ghana to purchase the fertilizer, which there are rules and regulations, how do he even first of all get it? And what is happening at the checkpoints? Because the fertilizer, the subsidized fertilizer is meant for Ghanaian farmers, not outsiders. So if they get the opportunity of carrying it across, then how come by that? How did it go there? So we cannot be blaming foreigners who come to carry our fertilizer, but we should also blame us for helping them to send our fertilizer, or even maybe pushing it to them there. Based on what I know, is that the smugglers, those who are smuggling out our fertilizers, we have been hearing that they have been arresting people. You know, you can't just go and see a truck with fertilizer and you just intercept it without even knowing who is carrying it. And we want to know if such thing had been done for so many occasions, who are those people and what happened to them? We have been seeing people who have committed crimes. We see them, media and all where we see their pictures, what, they are exposing them simply because they want them to stop the wrongdoing. And we are saying that the fertilizer smugglers could also be handled as such, so that those who even intend doing that will not attempt again. We are not sabotaging any government. Our role is to make sure that the peasant farmers is treated well. We need fertilizers, we need farm equipment to produce the food for everybody in the country to enjoy. That is all what we are looking for. So if you come with your policies that are good, we appreciate it.
Now to some energy matters. Now, energy firm Sumitomo Corporation is lighting up 140 households in a solar lantern program as part of its corporate social responsibility. General Manager of the corporation, Masafumi Tanimoto, tells Joy Business the program, which will benefit residents of Pong Katamanso, will also be replicated across the country. There's more in this report.
About 140 households at Akpo, Kantamanto will in the coming weeks be enjoying some new solar panels from energy firm Sumitomo Corporation. This is part of the company's centenary celebration. Speaking to Joy Business after presentation of solar bulbs to the Kumasi Institute of Technology, KITE, General Manager of the corporation, Masafumi Tanumoto, detailed steps being taken by his outfit to provide renewable source of energy to communities that are off the national grid.
Yeah, we want to contribute to the community where we are very active as a business. One of our business is operation of the power plant. So we have SemPower in Tema, and we decided to contribute to the local people by donating something regarding the power. So that's why we decided solar lantern.
Meanwhile, CEO of KITE, Ishmael Ajikumhene, noted that the solar lanterns aims at improving the socio-economic activities in the Kpong Katamanso area.
Promoting these solar lanterns since 2014, just recognizing that there is a space where, in spite of everything that government is doing, the grid hasn't gotten everywhere. And for some of these people, their source of light is sometimes kerosene or very unreliable dry cell battery. So we've been involved in this since 2014.
All right, so still staying on energy matters, we'll be crossing over shortly to Sekondi Takoradi to get updates of the car power shift, which has been relocated to that area for power supply. As and when we get through to our correspondent, we'll put some questions to her for some updates. But before then, Managing Director of Republic Bank, Farid Anta, has described the ban on deposit mobilization fee as good to promote a level playing field for all players. Mr. Anta has been speaking to Joy Business after the regulatory action. George Rafi has the rest of the story.
According to the Bank of Ghana, the action was taken to deal with a practice that has the tendency to increase the cost of credit. The central bank argued in a notice that it would not hesitate to withdraw the license of any institution that flouts this directive. The managing director of Republic Bank tells Joy Business the time has come to take regulatory actions against practices that artificially increases the cost of credit in the country.
Some of these costs have been inflated because, as you indicated, the cost of credit is high because we carry this NPL portfolio. So these non-performing loans are costs for the organization, which has to be shared elsewhere. So we have X millions of CDs and loans. We're not earning anything on it, but we're still paying the depositors the interest, the credit interest. So somebody has to help us pay for that.
He argues that dealing with this together with non-performing loans could firmly help contain the high cost of credit in the country.
So until we deal with the NPLs, we won't get the full impact of all the liquidity in the market, bringing down the price of credit. And then to deal with the NPLs, as we spoke about before, the system for collection of bad debts is very poor. It takes years in the court system. So if I can't collect and I carry that cost, the consumer at the end of the day will bear the burden of that price.
However, some analysts have argued that this directive could be a little bit difficult to enforce, especially when some banks are struggling to mobilize the required deposits in the country.
Let's go back to energy issues. And Minister of Energy John Peter Amewu has expressed satisfaction with the progress of work on the relocated car power ship at Sekondi in the western region. He was speaking after a tour at the Sekondi Takoradi regulating metering station of Ghana Gas and its onshore terminal station. The visit was to assess the progress of work on the commissioning of the car power ship to the national grid. Correspondent Natalia Kwanza joins us via Skype now for some updates. Ina, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Hello, Natalia. Hello, Natalia. So it looks like we're having some difficulty putting Natalia through to give us some updates at the car power ship station where commissioning works on the car power ship to the national grid is ongoing. And the Minister of Energy has paid a tour to the area, expressing satisfaction so far with the project. We'll get back to Natalia as and when we get through to her, but let's go on to other stories. The Ghana National Association of Teachers says it will resist attempts to re-enroll members on the Ghana Education State Insurance Company scheme without registration. Now, though the GS has announced suspension of the scheme by end of this month, the association suspects government intends to proceed with the policy. The Ashanti Regional NAT Secretary Peter Boateng says lack of sensitization by authorities is to blame. Can give you the indication that we have Natalia back on the line. Natalia, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace.
Good afternoon, Emmanuel.
Right. So earlier you said the Minister of Energy is satisfied with work so far. What did you see when you went there yourself?
So, Emmanuel, the people laying the pipeline, that is Amadi Construction Limited, are about 75% through, though the estimated time earlier when we had gone to the OTS, the minister had expressed some dissatisfaction that they might not be able to complete. After the tour, they had assured the minister that the first gas flow would come through in the next 4 weeks, and this is because they need time to complete some construction works on so that they can allow the gas flow on within that 4 weeks, as they have said.
All right. Now, so earlier you also indicated that there's some source of conflict for which the minister has called on these parties to eschew any conflict on the project. What is that?
Yeah, so ENI and Amandi were saying that Ghana Gas has not given them access so that they could complete the tie-in, but the minister has given them directive. That was when we went to the OTS, but before we could get to the secondary naval base, where the car power ship is, they said everything has been resolved and Ghana Gas has given them that access. So within 4 weeks, they have promised the minister that the first gas would flow through.
All right. Now, anything else we need to know, Ina?
No, Emmanuel.
All right. Many thanks for that update. Natalia Kwanza bringing us up to speed with the development so far at the car power ship, which has been relocated to the secondary naval base within the Western region. Let's go to other issues now. Chief Executive of the Ghana Exim Bank, Lawrence Agyinsim, has assured entrepreneurs that the bank is available to provide the lowest interest rate facility for industries to be able to penetrate the African market. Mr. Agyinsim is appealing to businesses to tap into Exim Bank's financing opportunities to bridge the financing gap. The CEO was speaking at a panel discussion on the trade facilitation and market integration on day 2 of the implementation conference for the Continental Free Trade Agreement. Joining us for some updates is Ebenezer Sabote. Ebenezer, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace.
Hi, thank you, Emmanuel.
All right, so what can you report?
So the chief executive of the Ghana Exim Bank was saying that they, as a bank, what they're trying to do is to support, entrepreneurs and businesses so that they could be able to tap into the advantage of the CFTA. Initially, when they go to the banks, companies are not able to access funds because they get their money from deposit and all that. But they have been created to support businesses. So their mandate is to support businesses to look at the other entrepreneurs that want to penetrate into the African market. That was the initial, the forum that currently ongoing is another forum on free movement of people and goods and services. The one speaking at the background is the Controller General of the Ghana Immigration Service, George Techi. And earlier on, we had the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry who was also speaking about the movement of goods and services and the cost of transporting goods along the borders. He was of the view that if we want to have smooth trading, then there's the need for African leaders to come together to create their own shipping lines so that moving goods along the borders on sea will be easier. He mentioned the example of moving a good from Ghana to Cote d'Ivoire, which has been very difficult because it goes to Europe and some other countries before it comes back to the African continent, and this has been a challenge to businesses along the borders. So there's the need for African leaders to come together to look at having a shipping line so that they could be able to tap into the advantage of the CFTA.
Now, talking about benefits of the CFTA, earlier this morning you mentioned the energy forum that was also supposed to take place today. How far with that?
Yes, we are expecting the Minister for Energy, John Ameu, Peter Ameu, here, but at the moment he's not in. What we understand is that there's going to be a discussion on how to use the West African gas power pool so that we could be able to have power to most of these countries, easily, and then also the cost coming down for businesses to be able to have their, industries operating at par. You and I know that cost of power has been an issue for businesses, especially here in Ghana. But with the power pool, we are very sure that at least power can come down, tariff on power can come down, so that we could be able to have our businesses operate on a low tariff level. So that is what the discussion will be on. But currently he's not here. Immediately he's here, we'll give you the update.
All right, many thanks for that update. Ebenezer Sabote reaching us live from the conference center where the CFTA forum is currently ongoing on its second day. Now, the evolution of technology in contemporary times continues to determine the focus of the youth beyond the scope of knowledge and classroom. The following report highlights some young talented boys developing technological robots that are meant to solve some recurrent problems in the near future. Fred Duho has more.
Their ages, location and poor living conditions are not serving as a barrier to the imagination, creativity and ambition of 15-year-old Nosi Mawunyafia, who aspires to become an engineer in the near future. From Labo Labo, a farming community in the eastern region, Mawunyafia did not hold back his ambition to invent a makeshift ferry which he has experimented on the Volta Lake. His teacher Gilbert Kodo tells us Mawunyafia got him marveled when he first presented drawing of the ferry in a book. He consequently encouraged him to convert his imagination into reality.
I asked him to go and bring what he can do for me to see. And he came out with this wonderful model. In fact, I was marveled. So I helped him to get the idea about the scientific principles behind what he has done.
Mawunyafia tells Joy Business his idea was born out of proximity to the Volta Lake. Mawunyafia got pieces of roofing sheets, nails and other accessories, and in a few days was ready with a model of a ferry for presentation at his school's exhibition program. At the 12th National Society of Black Engineers Ghana International Conference and exhibition held in Accra, Mawunyafia joined other young engineers to exhibit their talents. Jata Michael and Emmanuel Senyadoke, both of Presec Legon Senior High School, who also jointly invented a miniature car, were optimistic that they could do more if they get timely sponsorship from government. Their long-term ambition is to build sophisticated electrical cars.
If we find a way for drivers who under certain conditions are unable to make certain decisions that could save their lives, if these decisions could be made by the car instantly when the situation happens without the driver having to respond.
And we'll bring you more on that report on Business Live tonight. And that's it for the marketplace. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. We are Have a good afternoon.